So I'm Yesika. I hope you remember that. So I started writing poetry when I was a first grader, and I don't know if I knew it was poetry, but I've been writing my whole life. And when I was 18, I was doing really bad in school, so I dropped out and I ended up just working service jobs. The intention was to eventually go back to school, get an AA at a community college, go to a 4-year, blah, 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 MFA. I didn't do that, but I'm still doing poetry. And so, and I just say that to say that it's really important to share those stories that a lot of us come to poetry in really unconventional ways. We're often taught that poetry is really academic, and that poetry is very white, right? And that poetry is a very specific thing. And so I like to think of the fact that I didn't go to school. I used to think of it as like a negative thing, and I would apologize for it when I would be in spaces with other poets. But I consider it my superpower, because I never had to compare my writing to old dead white men, you know, and I never had to like dissect, like emulate their poems or dissect them. I mean, I was a big Charles Bukowski fan until I became a feminist, and I was just like, wait a minute, but he's different. And so, yeah, just to say that, I like to say that when I share poems somewhere, because I never know if there's someone in the audience feeling that XYZ doesn't make them a poet. And no, if you write poems, you're a poet. No one's gonna come and give you a diploma unless you pay them a lot of money. So save the money and then just remember what I told you. Or if you wanna go to college, that's great, because some of us need to. Because then when you're at school, you bring me to your school, and that's how I pay rent. Today is Hermosa's birthday. I have 3 books that I wrote. Hopefully I wrote them. But I have 3 books, Corazón, Tesoro, and Hermosa. And Hermosa was published in 2019, but I didn't get to really come and like do, for every other book I did a show in Oakland for celebrating its release, but then COVID happened, and it was like, no, sit your ass down. And so I was on Instagram reading poems like at 2 a.m. to y'all. And Hermosa is like my achieving third child. She's the one that she won the 2020 International Latino Book Award. It's cool. Like flex. 1, I come from women of corn and cotton fields, of machete and fire, of water and stone. I am the daughter of a river and a mango tree. My tongue came to me through the jocote seed. My heart belonged to the ocean before it found my body. 2, every man I have loved does not know my home country, has not been awakened by the rooster's crow, does not know the swell of grass and dirt beneath June thunderstorms, does not smell burning wood and think of home. 3, I learned to forgive before I learned to speak, to turn my palms upward to God and my lover, to let a man ruin me with his love, to call the ruin sacred, to uproot everything and call the new place mine, to name the nostalgia something sweet, a ripened fruit growing out of a dying tree. 4, my father died and my mother remained alone. I am 39 and unmarried. I am asked if I want a husband, asked if I want to return to my parents' home country, but they are both a question I do not want to answer. Thank you. It's funny because every time I wrote these 3 books consecutively, 1 year after the other, and well, that's what consecutive means, but you know what I mean. But like 2017, 18, 19, in the fall, I released a book all 3 years. And every time I did, I had broken up with the same person. So like every time I release a book, I'm like, it's over, we're done, like that's it. It's over. I think it's over now for sure. We blocked each other on Instagram. You know that if you block each other, you disappear. Like you can't unblock each other. Because once you're blocked, like I don't know what like you X each other out and then you go into like some alternate universe, I think, or whatever. So maybe, I don't know. He's in another world, and I'm like, all right, bye. But yeah, so a lot of these poems are about the same person, and it's wild. And if y'all met him, you would be really disappointed. You'd be like, girl. The last fight came and you talked and talked and talked and talked and talked about how awful I am, how I did you wrong, how I fucked other men, how I didn't lend you money, how I lied, how you hate me, how selfish I am, how I want to be who I never was, how I don't love you, I don't know what love is, I give everyone what I'm supposed to keep for you, how I'm terrible, and I don't know how hard it's been dealing with me, this monster, this headache, this bitch that is incapable of loving you, how you want to be loved, and I listened. I sobbed. I was a river again, and through the dark, the words found me. 5 small snakes slowly winding themselves into my mouth. Get out of my life.